Jaguars Browns preview. Let's go kick some ass. Now, before we do that, quick word from this video sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Now, the Jaguars are actually 3-point underdogs going into this game. The Jaguars are 8-4 on the season and 8-4 against the spread this year as well. So it's kind of crazy to see that. I'm going to really monitor this line this week to see if it moves at all based on what Trevor Lawrence's status is going to be for this Sunday's game. It'll be interesting to see if, maybe Saturday they say, okay, he's going to play. Maybe, that designation changes when it comes to the line. But this is one I'll definitely be monitoring. But that's not the only kind of bet you can make on BetUS. Look, guys, right now there are actual AFC South Division champion numbers out there right now. The Jaguars are heavy favorites at minus 225, while the Colts are in third at plus 475 and the Texans at plus 350. So BetUS certainly believes that the Jaguars will win the AFC South, but will it actually happen? We'll just have to see how it all plays out. If you guys want to make any kind of wager, guys, write down the description box down below. I have a 125% sign-up bonus for you guys. So if you guys drop $100, BetUS will put $225 in your account. That's some good ROI right there. So yeah, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. And now let's get on to this preview. Now, guys, I got a collab alert. Okay, I got a Browns guy that's going to come over here and talk about the Browns. I have Quincy Carrier coming onto the channel.
Hey, what's up, UCF Jaguar fans? My name is Quincy Carrier. I cover the Cleveland Browns, and I'm here to give you that inside scoop on the Cleveland Browns. What's going good with this team? What's not going good with this team? And what you, as a Jaguar fan, should expect from the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. First things first, let's start with quarterback. Everybody knows the Browns have had their fair amount of quarterback injuries. Deshaun Watson hurt for the year. PJ Walker was okay in time, but not really effective anymore when they put him in the Denver game because of an injury to DTR. And then Joe Flacco's in there right now. Right now, we don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. DTR is still in concussion protocol, but he was the starter. He was named the starter. Kevin Stefanski has referred to him as a starter and said once he gets back in from concussion protocol, he will start. I don't know if that's changed after Sunday. I don't know if it should have changed after Sunday. Joe Flacco played well in the first 3 quarters of Sunday's game, but if you look at the last 3 drives of that game, it was pretty disastrous. He threw an interception when the game was close to tied down only 1. Then he went 3 and out, 4 and out on a key possession there with 2 minutes left in the game, still only down 1 score, and then he took a safety. So it's not like things ended great for Joe Flacco in that debut. I know a lot of people have focused on the good with that, but there was also some significant downsides, especially how that game ended. When you look at a 38-year-old quarterback, you worry about things going wrong at the end of the games because maybe that might be signs of deterioration because he's just older and more reps. But that's the quarterback situation. Either it will be Joe Flacco or DTR. Me personally, I feel fine with both. I don't think that this team's ability to win or lose football games comes down to the quarterback position. It hasn't come down to the quarterback position all year. It's really been about the defense and more specifically, the defensive line's ability to create pressure. The last 2 weeks, the Browns have not been able to create pressure, not nearly at the same rate that they have in weeks past. When this Browns defensive line is able to create pressure, they can beat any team in the NFL. You saw this when they beat the 49ers. They were able to create pressure, get Brock Purdy hurried, and the coverage in the back end really didn't matter. It's not to say that the Browns have bad corners. Denzel Ward, hopefully he can come back off injury. He's been out the last 2 weeks with the shoulder injury. But they have Denzel Ward. They have Greg Newsome. They have Martin Emerson. Those are fine enough corners. They're pretty good. I think Martin Emerson's underrated. Same thing with Greg Newsome. And we all know how good Denzel Ward is. But they have good corners, but that's not the strength of this team. The strength of this team is this defensive line. If Myles Garrett, and more specifically, the guys not named Myles Garrett, are able to take advantage of their one-on-one opportunities, this defense is able to get pressure, then the teams are going to have to force themselves out of those triple double team looks that they give Myles, and then Myles is going to be able to go off too. If this defensive line gets pressure, the team has a real good chance to win any game that they play in. It's been that way all season. You look at the games that the Browns have won, defensive line pressure heavy in those games. You look at the games that the Browns have lost, usually there's no defensive line pressure in those games, not a lot of sacks, all those things. The Browns are a team that works from the inside of that defensive line out, and it trickles down even to the offense. The Browns offense has not been great. We've been rolling with backup quarterbacks for most of the season. Deshaun Watson only played 5 games this season. He's 4-1 in those games. Technically 5-1 because he did play in the Colts game, but he threw the ball 5 times, so it doesn't really count. 4-1 in those games. They're clearly a better team with Deshaun, but when they have those other quarterbacks in, it's a little bit rougher of a go. The point differential isn't the same, but they still have the same ability to win. The Browns' run game, I would say, is slightly above average without Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford is somebody who, if you give him some opportunities, if you give him some lanes, especially on the outside, he does have breakaway speed to make some big plays. Kareem Hunt is the guy that we use in short yardage situations. And then Pierre Strong is somebody we throw in there every once in a while. It's kind of a 3-headed monster there for the Browns, and it's been serviceable, not necessarily Nick Chubb level, but serviceable there. The Browns' offensive line has also been a source of issues. We'll see if Jed Wills comes back from IR this week, but I highly doubt it. I don't think he's coming back to at least week 16. Browns have Garyon Christian in there. He's been okay, but it's kind of been masked because the Browns quarterbacks DTR and Joe Flacco both get rid of the ball quickly. Another overview of this offense, right? Regardless of if it's DTR, if it's Joe Flacco, I know people assume because DTR is athletic that's going to be a much different style of play than Joe Flacco, but DTR plays a more similar style to Joe Flacco than he does Deshaun Watson. They both get rid of the ball quickly. They both process quickly. They both try not to take sacks. They both try to just get those 5-6 yard chunks and then maybe a deep shot here and there. So the game plan's not really going to change offensively regardless of who's at quarterback, Joe Flacco or DTR. I anticipate it being the same game regardless of who plays at quarterback for the offense and the same game plan for the offense. My thoughts on this are the thoughts I've had about almost every game this season. If the defensive line shows up, then the defense shows up. If the defense shows up, then the offense can do just enough to win. But if the defensive line doesn't show up, if we let Blaine Gabbert or Trevor Lawrence sit back there and find guys, we're going to get diced up. We're going to be frustrated. We're going to be mad, just like we were with Gardner Minshew, just like we were with Russell Wilson, just like we were with Matthew Stafford. It's going to come down to that battle on the offensive and defensive line. So if the Jaguars want to win that game, they have to win that battle on the defensive line. If they win that battle on the defensive line against the Browns defensive line, they will have a great chance to win. If they don't win that battle on the defensive line, then the Browns will have a good chance to win. Also, the Browns have been a much better home team than a road team, which is interesting because I've seen that the Jaguars are a much better road team than a home team. So it's going to be interesting to see which one breaks down. But that's my thoughts on this game. Y'all have a great day. UCF Jaguar, thank you for having me on. Peace.
Now, a huge shout out to Quincy. I actually went over on his channel and did a collab with him as well. So I'll link that down below for you guys if you guys want to check that out. It was out there for about 30 minutes. So if you guys are just craving more of that Jags, Browns content, that's where you're going to find it, okay? Good stuff. Shout out to him. Thanks for coming on here. Now, this Browns-Jaguars game, man, it was a weird week. I'll just say that. It was a weird week. Look, we came off Monday Night Football. Not only did we experience an overtime loss, but we lost, Trevor Lawrence went down with what looked like a pretty significant injury. And, man, that really just soured everything. And it honestly soured this whole entire week. But when you look at it right now, like yesterday, Trevor Lawrence walked into the press conference and he looked fine. I mean, he was just in a flip-flop and a slider, however you want to call it. And, he didn't have any boot on. He looked all right. And then today at practice, he's out there like dropping back and like throwing the football around, doing his 3-step drops, doing his play actions. So I'm sitting here like, is this guy human? Like, I don't understand how it's possible that he can do what he did against the Bengals on Monday, which looked really bad. I was very worried about him. to all of a sudden having a chance to play on Sunday. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I actually think he plays. I actually think this guy is not human. I actually think that he's got a chance to play Sunday. And it's pretty interesting with this Sunday's game because, look, the Browns are the only AFC team that Trevor Lawrence hasn't played against. So we got that on the line for us. So hopefully, I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. It's safe to be like, okay, take this week, take another week off and rest and stuff like that. But look, we have like 5 games left this season, and these games are crucial, especially with freaking the Texans and Colts on our tails and won't get away from us. It's like a mosquito buzzing us in the face right now. Like they just keep winning and they won't let up. And we're only 1 game above them, although the Jaguars do have tiebreakers. So that's good to see. But man, Jaguars need this one, and it's a very important game. And Trevor Lawrence, these last three games have been dialed in. I mean, him against the Titans, Texans, and the Bengals, he was playing really good football. So we need that. We need that December Trevor Lawrence back, and there's a chance that we get it. Now, not only is Trevor Lawrence hurt, but we have a bunch of injuries on the team, guys. 13 players are on the injury sheet. Guys, that is 24% of the roster. I don't know if they have enough medical tables inside of that facility to treat that many people, but it's crazy. But the most ones to highlight is that there's definitely not going to be any Christian Kirk. I wouldn't expect a Walker Little, and I wouldn't expect a Britton Strange, but maybe some other guys like Trey Herndon, who's in concussion protocol. Maybe he gives it a go. I imagine Cisco will probably play. We'll see with Tyson Campbell. He coming off a very bad game, but we're going to need a full squad. So with this game, it's a big weather game, guys. This game will be in the 40s with a 70% chance of rain. I don't like that at all. I would rather play in a much more controlled, chill environment. So, with the weather game, I don't know if that's going to go into any kind of designation for whether or not Trevor Lawrence will play. I don't know if he's clear to play, but maybe they don't want to play him in the rain. But I have the idea that if Trevor Lawrence is clear to play, he's going to play. That's just how Trevor is because he's got that dog in him. Now, I would like to finally, if there's any game to get a run game going, can we get it going this game? I mean, with Trevor Lawrence being hurt and the Browns actually don't have a very good run defense, this needs to be the game, guys. This needs to be the game. They like to run that Jim Schwartz wide 9 defense, so it's going to open up some running lanes. Just please, man, please get a running game going. Get Travis Etienne going. Get Dearness Johnson going. Get our boy Tank Bigsby going. Come on, man. Got to do it. And defensively, let's stop the run. I think that was a big issue last week, which what really got that game out of hand was that the Jaguars just couldn't do anything in the run game. And, and with their leading rushers, with Nick Chubb going out, Jerome Ford has 647 yards this season, 4.2 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns, while Kareem Hunt, 334 yards on the season, 3.3 yards per carry, but he has 6 touchdowns. So he's their big touchdown running back. And who's going to be their quarterback? I would imagine it's going to be Joe Flacco. So Joe Flacco is going to want to dink and dunk down the field. He's going to want to be able to take the deep shots when he can, but most likely they're just going to really want to run the ball. And, if we can bottle up the run and get Flacco in 3rd and long situations, get some pressure on him through blitzing, maybe we can rattle him. The last couple of games against Joe Flacco have gone the Jaguars' way. I was at the most recent one in Denver where Gardner Minshew led the comeback, and I was not in London, but I think we got 10 sacks against them when we played the Ravens in Baltimore in London. So yeah, that's got some good history going there. So I don't know. I'm feeling weird right now. It's been a weird week. I think today Jaguar fans kind of got their juices back, and now we're kind of getting ourselves excited for the game, especially seeing that Trevor Lawrence is moving around okay. So yeah, it's just been a weird week, and I hope things just go good, and I hope the Jaguars can get a victory on Sunday. And look, something's going to have to give here. The Jaguars are great on the road, undefeated on the road, and the Browns only have 1 loss at home. So something's going to have to give there. But overall, when you look at the playoffs, look, I'm throwing out seeding. I'm throwing out all that crap, number 1 seed, whatever. We spoiled all our chances. Now I just want to win the AFC South. And the best path to win the AFC South right now is to split the next 2 games. Go 1-1. And then win your final 3 games against teams that record-wise you're a lot better than, with the Buccaneers, with the Panthers, and the Titans. And if you can do that, you're automatically in the playoffs, okay? There's nothing the Colts and Texans can do. You're in the playoffs if you can if you can do that. Okay, you control your own destiny right now. Heck, go 5-0 if you can. But I'm not gonna. Beggars can't be choosers right now. But yeah, the Browns. This is a huge game. They're a great team right now. They're sitting there right in the wild card. They are a little bit susceptible right now. They've lost a couple games in a row. And look, they're desperate too. They're just as desperate as us. They want to win to keep that wild card spot because they have some teams breathing down their necks. Speaking of the Colts and the Texans, they're breathing down their necks too. So if the Jaguars were to beat the Browns, then one of those teams is going to level up. Each of those teams will, I should say, especially if they win. So yeah, need to do this one. Need to win it. We need to just wash this bad taste out of our mouth. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this game. Shout out to BetUS. Like I said, the Jaguars are 3-point underdogs. So I'm going to take the Jaguars winning. I'm going to say 21-20. Okay, 21-20. We need to win this one. We're gonna do all that. We're gonna cover. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully, on Sunday at 4:30, we're all gonna be celebrating. But yeah, shout out to BetUS. 125% deposit bonus down below. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Go Jags.